Sometimes closure is silent. Silent but deadly. Today on our space, we do some ghost busting. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Someone help me. I'm losing my mind. Background. Me, 30 male. Her, 32 female. Met 5 years ago. Been together for the last 3 of those years. The first 2 were spent just casually dating. I love this girl. We do have arguments a little more frequently lately, but that's because my insecurity lately. See, about a year ago, I was going through a death in the family and I wasn't able to be there for her. We decided to take a break for a few weeks. Mutual decision. And for me to get my head on straight. We talked often during those weeks. Nothing deep, as we wanted to give each other space. Weeks after we got back together, after I pressed, found out she started flirting with a coworker. Went out a couple of times. Went down on him too. She showed me the texts. We worked through it, but I've always felt insecure as they see each other every day. Recently, a few days ago, we had a fight. We'd made plans, and she canceled the day of. Cool, right? So I say, okay. She has a habit of doing so last minute, and it annoys me, but whatever. So later we talk. I ask her how her day was, etc. She sends me a few pictures, and I see a restaurant in the background. When we meet later, I ask her about who she was with, and she doesn't exactly answer. But after taking it upon myself to look through her texts, I see a conversation with the same coworker talking about having lunch together at a very unique type of restaurant, the same that was in the background. I was so mad. I asked her if it was him, and she repeatedly said no. I left. Went home. I woke up and saw I was blocked everywhere. I decided not to bother her, as we both needed time to calm down. Today I decided to look at her Facebook through someone else's account. It says she's in a relationship. Coworker's account says the same. For context, when we were together, she never once put in a relationship, but I didn't care. It's only Facebook. Suddenly, her and coworker, who showed up single, are now both in relationships. I'm going crazy. I've messaged her friends and everyone she knows who I do, but no one is responding. What do I do? I can't work. I can't eat or sleep. If she broke up with me, I'd be okay. But you just chose to do it in such a way. I need answers. I need someone to tell me what's going on. I feel like I'm starting to come off as a crazy person, but what am I supposed to do? Edit. Her friend just responded. She's dating the other guy. So yeah, 5 years gone. I've just blocked everyone she knows. I don't think I want to see anymore. Thanks, everyone. Let's see what the community has to say. The first comment says, you say, if she broke up with me, I'd be okay. She did break up with you. She did it in a rude and hurtful way by ghosting you. Grieve the loss and move on. Once you are happily involved with another, she'll probably reappear to try and haunt your butt again. Don't let her back in. Not even as a friend. Because friends don't do that to each other. The next comment wants to say, this sounds like something a teenage girl would do. She is immature and childish. She might have helped you out by acting like this now. Leave her alone and her friends and family. If anyone decides to text back, tell them to F off. Interesting. So the two of you definitely have conflicting views on what a break means. But I'd have to agree with the comment here, OP. She definitely did break up with you. She just didn't use her words. And not having closure sucks, but blocking everyone she knows is a good start to a new beginning without her. You don't need her. You don't need anyone who's going to screw around on you while you're already grieving. Don't let her or them take up any more space in your brain. She doesn't deserve the satisfaction of knowing that you're having sleepless nights. Update. A week later. Been over a week since I, 30 male, found out my ex-girlfriend and best friend of 5 years, 32 female, had been having a long-term affair with a coworker. She ghosted me when I found out. First things first. You people saved my life. I admit I was having very dark thoughts during those first few days, and the words and sentiments of you Reddit folk helped me trudge along. I still come on to read your words when my resolve wavers. There's a couple of Redditors. You guys saved my effing life. Thank you. I finally told my family and friends. Some of them knew already, as our friend groups were sort of blended after 5 years. To say my mother was hurt was an understatement. She loved my ex. Thought I'd marry her. I'd taken your advice and just went completely silent. I purged my house of everything that reminded me of her, everything she got me or left here, packed it into boxes and asked one of my friends to deliver it to one of hers. I had wanted to be proactive. Couldn't sit still. When my friend got back, he told me he gave her friend an earful about how I'd been treated. I didn't ask him to. Apparently she was apologetic. She supposedly didn't know my ex cheated. Yeah, right. I think she just doesn't want to look bad now, and is coming out ex is a cheater. No way she didn't know, but whatever. Yesterday, a blank random Facebook pro messaged me. Hi, me. I got that stuff from Talia. I get you're probably mad at me. I get that I effed up by not breaking up sooner before things happened, but I think it's really cruel of you to tell people our business and even return things I got you as gifts. They were meant for you. There is no reason to be so ugly about everything. This is exactly why I did not say anything. I really think me just disappearing will help you move on faster. There's no reason for it. One day, I hoped we could both look back on our relationship fondly as something that helped us become better people. I hope we can reach that point in yourself. Ignored and blocked. She can F off. I've got my appetite back. I still have moments where I just can't help but break down. But I feel anger more than anything else. I'm burying myself in work, and most of my interactions with people involve a good deal of faking it. But I'll get there someday. What worries me is my anger. It's easier just to vent here. Here I won't get looked on with pity or a tiptoe around. Thank you, guys. Hey, sometimes we have to fake it till we make it. It's okay, OP. You're getting there. You're going to be just fine. I'm proud of you for ignoring her and blocking her. Update 2. The Ghosting Cheating Ex. Recap. A couple of months ago, ex-lover of 5 years cheated on me, then ghosted when I confronted her. I went strict no contact. She tried to insert a response in me with messages from blank accounts. I didn't respond. Now, a few days ago, my dad passed away. Somehow she found out. On social media, I have received such an outpouring of support from my friends, and some of them are friends with her friends. My friends already know not to talk to me about her or share anything about me with her or her friends. Meh, I'm not too fazed. It's on social media, so she was bound to find out eventually. My mother is broken. Ex, who had been blocked by my mother and family, decides to text my mother her condolences. She goes so far as to imply that being the caring person she is, she'd like to offer my mother her support and attend the funeral. Guess who with? If you guessed the fair partner, then you're right. Why? Because he will support her while she's supporting my mother. This effing sucks because my mom loved her and they were close until she cheated. Mom didn't bother responding. She just told me what happened. Told me she doesn't want her there or to reach out again, and will leave it to me to handle it because she doesn't want unnecessary drama after all of this. Now I have no choice to confront her. I also know confronting her is giving her exactly what she wants. She'll be able to say I'm the one reaching out to her. What should I do? What should I say? I have not dealt with it yet, but I plan to. Edit. She actually did say that she wants to offer my mother support without risk of hostility from me. Yeah, because effing ignoring her is an attack on her apparently. Edit. Mini update. Thank you all so much for the condolences. I'd have loved to answer each one of you individually. Thank you all from the bottom of mine and my family's hearts. I took your advice into consideration. At the end of the day, regardless of the harsh way I personally want to put my ex in her place, I think I see things in my mother's way. I don't want any sort of conflict or ill will or cruel words spoken about the circumstances in which I'm putting my dad to rest. I just want peace until after the funeral. I decided I'll not respond to her in any way. I've also spoken to my family through the group to tell them about what happened. Understandably, many were angry and wanted to rip her a new one. I pleaded with them to restrain themselves, that we needed to stand in solidarity and agreed we will all meet her attempts with complete silence, and to also set as much as possible on their profiles in private, in case she's creeping. I think, all of them to agree that if she reaches out to them, we'll just ignore and block as many times as necessary. We won't even acknowledge she exists. Everyone's so protective of Ma right now, so there's a new unity to the family that's really humbling. I'll speak to the funeral personnel about the ex to make sure, in case she does show up, she'll be turned away. I'll go to the police station tomorrow to at least inform them just in case. Maybe they can advise me as well. If a restraining order is my only recourse, I'll take steps in that direction. Lastly, when I told my friends about it, they weren't surprised. Turns out X is posting about being devastated by the loss of Uncle Dad's name, or some such BS, and is soaking up the pity like a leech. My friends had already agreed amongst themselves to keep this under wraps to not stress me out. They volunteered to be spokesmen and spread the word to literally everyone that she isn't welcome, and that we'll have security to keep her out if need be. They'll also run interference for me the whole day of. I was really touched. They insisted on it, that I should just focus on Ma, and they'll take care of everything to do with her. I told them I don't even want to hear anything until after the funeral. Right now my priority is making sure Ma isn't affected by anything else. I'm staying with her until the funeral. She's a really religious woman, so she doesn't want to be too harsh with the ex, and she says she's forgiven her, or is trying to, so the best she can do is continue to just ignore her. I'll update after the burial, I think. Thanks for showing me not to react emotionally. God bless. It's really unfair of her to make your father's death about her. Being worried about whether she shows up or not is not something you need to burden yourself with at your father's funeral. She's a very selfish person. I'm sorry, OP. Update 3. She's flipped. Wasn't going to post another update, but so many who've weighed in had asked for one, so here I am. Look through post history to see how all this came to be. My dad's funeral service was beautiful. One of his close friends asked if he could put up the time and location on his social media so my dad's friends out of state could see and attend, and they did. Fortunately, I did not hear a peep from X in the days leading up to it, and I didn't care to. Her parents did attend, though. They didn't stay long, and they mostly spoke with Ma, but I hovered around her the whole day just in case. Not a word mentioned about my ex. They were cordial with me, and I didn't get the sense they were unhappy with me, but they had the tact to not talk about anything else. Was sweet, honestly. In the last few days, I've gotten a few friend requests from people in X's camp, but I ignored it. Yesterday, my friend, same guy asked to return her crap, shows me a message from Talia, friend of X, who I had her crap sent to, that basically spewing hate my way. I'm immature, pathetic, trying to make my ex's life miserable. I'm shaming her. I'm not who she thought I was, how at the end of the day, I'm just bitter, etc. I don't understand, as I've done literally nothing to this woman, and as I'm not talking to Talia, I ask him to extract what this is all about, and she sends him a screenshot of a YouTube video shared by one of our shared friends to her. I will say one of the content creators is named after a fox. I guess he, shared friend, consumes this type of content on YouTube, and he found my story. Honestly, I don't mind, it just felt weird. It was my dad's funeral and posting the Facebook message that named Talia that gave me away. Fake name, but I posted the message word for word. He particularly loved the comments dressing her down, and in an act of pettiness, I guess decided to send the video to Talia captioned, "Sound familiar?" Why he didn't tell me first, I don't know. It didn't take long for it to reach my ex, and holy crap. Out of curiosity, I decided to accept one or two of the friend requests, and yep, this is why. I've gotten pages of drivel calling me abusive for not having the courage to face the woman I'm besmirching but dragging her name through incel echo chambers, and how X is beside herself that I'm not only denied her the opportunity to say bye to Uncle, my dad, but talked openly enough about her private business that it's trickling into her workmates' conversation. That, as if that isn't bad enough, I'm psychologically attacking her by encouraging strangers on the internet to bash her. Her accusations honestly got under my skin, and I responded only to ask what about the post wasn't true. Tried to explain that I first made the post in a moment of immense emotional upheaval and panic, and I just needed advice from people who suffered through the same. That I did not reveal anything to expose her or myself to strangers, but she was adamant. Told me my ex apparently cried when she heard some of the comments and that her new boyfriend wants to settle things with me. Made me laugh a little, to be honest. That the least I could do is reach out to my ex and apologize to her. That if I have unresolved issues, my ex is willing to have a sit-down and closure, but I didn't respond. I'm tired, honestly. I don't care about talking to her, and I honestly don't think I have to justify making an anonymous post on Reddit to sort through what was a difficult time for me. What struck me most is that according to the cousin, who I honestly feel was in contact with the ex while talking to me, was more offended at what commenters said than what I said. She couldn't pick out a single thing I lied about. Not one. But no F's given. I already blocked her cousin. I've done nothing wrong, and I don't think I have to justify anything I've said or done. Least of all to her. Edit. Thank you all for the support you have given me. These last few months, this community has been among my most resolute supporters, giving me strength with your own stories of betrayal and perseverance. Even some of the harsher advice was incredibly useful to me. I truly believe if I had every last one of you in my ear a year ago, I'd have been spared so much pain that I now believe in part was self-inflicted. You're the best. One of the best things I ever did for myself was ask you all for help when I couldn't tell anyone else. This woman is clearly way too concerned about your life and what you're doing. It's funny she wasn't this concerned with you when she was actually dating you. She needs to get a life. Update. Year out from the cheating ex, 30s female, who ghosted me, 30s male. Wasn't really ever planning on updating this again. They're not sure if this is the place to or the right way to do it, but I feel like I should just for the sake of those who've been asking me for an update. Everything's in my post history. But long story short, when I discovered my ex was cheating on my long-term, she completely ghosted me and tried to paint me as an abusive stalker. The truth did come out, and she was mostly ostracized. My father passed shortly afterwards, and she tried to use it as an opportunity to insert drama in my life. My dad's memorial is next month. Preparations underway. And that, coupled with the posts I made over Father's Day, are, I think, what started this. The update. I got an apology. In it, she made reference to a few things going on in my life that she could only know by following my socials. The woman I'm seeing, my dad's upcoming memorial, etc. But I blocked her everywhere long ago and set things private, so I can only assume someone is running their mouth. I can't go over all of it because the email was really long and there's a lot of sensitive info, but here it goes. She tells me she's sorry she damaged me so much. Get over yourself. She simultaneously acknowledges she cheated, but explains she was scared that it looked like we were getting serious and her whole life was starting to feel like it was following a set plan, and her fears led her to explore something she felt was a temporary escape from the impending end of her life as she knew it. She meant to end it and take it to her grave, but I found out, and in her panic, she felt she could only run and do whatever she could to salvage her reputation. She says reality began to hit when she started to date the affair partner, because everyone knew he wasn't accepted with her friends or family, especially her dad, who was particularly scathing in his assessment of affair partner. This led to them breaking up and getting back together several times. She says she realized affair partner didn't take her as seriously as I did because he constantly reminded her she wasn't worth the drama, and every time she brought up taking the next steps, he would be indecisive and wishy-washy. She said after seeing how my family treated her and how his treats her, she's not even sure anymore. A lot of it was talking about her faults and how she's in therapy to help improve her relationship. I won't lie. There are parts of it that made me feel she was being genuine. I didn't respond, but I showed it to my girlfriend, former situationship turned girlfriend, and she understandably showed no sympathy and suggested I send this to a affair partner. But at this point, I don't care. I waited so long for this apology a while ago, but now I have it, I feel nothing. I don't want to respond or involve myself in her drama with a affair partner. I just don't care. I mean, I feel vindicated, but I just feel a greater sense of loss for the time I wasted on her. I have not told my friends, and I won't. I'll pretend I saw nothing. Yeah, so that's it. It does get better, guys. I'm not the same, truthfully, but it does get better. One quick short response from the community. The opposite of hate is truly indifference. You've come a long way in your healing journey. Continue growing as a person. Wow, a year later, and still just as selfish. Seems she's still living in the past and really thinks that you've just been waiting on your knees for her every day since D-Day. What a joke. She's delusional. So glad to hear that you've moved on and you're living your life. As you should. Your ex should take notes. What are your thoughts?